So I'd like to thank you all for joining us. You can see we have quite a few people in already and a lot of people joining at a fast rate. So thank you for making time to be with us today. While we're waiting for everybody to continue to join and settle in, I will move on to our accommodations notice. We have accommodations for people who are hard of hearing, a captioning service. You can access that by copying this URL from the featured feed. If you click on the featured feed, it's in the upper right hand corner of your screen. You will see my colleague has published this link there. You can cut and paste that into your browser, and then you can access our captioning service. So just want to raise awareness that this is there for anyone who needs it. Also, transcripts of this event are available from our website within about 48 hours of this event. Anyone who has attended today will receive an email with links to that, as well as the slide deck that we are using today. While we're waiting for people to come in, I'm going to ask you again to look in the featured feed. You can access that through the icon, which is in the upper right hand corner of your screen. It looks like two speech bubbles, one with a question mark on it. If you click on that, you'll see two feeds. One is the featured feed. Please click on that. That's actually where the link to the captioning service is. But also you will see two statements published in that feed. The first statement is, I want to sell online. And the second statement is, I already sell online. So could you please like the statement that is most pertinent to you or your business and where you're at right now? We just want to get a sense of how many people are selling online, how many people would like to. So please like that while we're waiting for people to come in, and thank you for joining in. And so it's time to formally open the event. I'm going to hand over to our Executive Director, Adriana Cruz. She's the Executive Director of the Economic Development and Tourism Division of the Office of the Governor. Over to you, Adriana.
Thank you, Kelly. And good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Adriana Cruz. I'm the Executive Director for the Economic Development and Tourism Office in the Office of Governor Greg Abbott. And on behalf of Governor Abbott and the entire team here at the Economic Development and Tourism Office, I want to thank you for joining us today for our 13th, I believe it's our 13th Governor Small Business webinar. As many of you know, our small business team has been putting together these small business webinars since mid-April, and we're always changing up the topics and looking for things that will be of interest to our small business owners. And our goal is to provide you with the information that you need and to connect you with resources to help you be successful on your entrepreneurial journey. Today, we're excited to talk about how to optimize online marketing and selling. And we're going to be joined by some great panelists who we'll be hearing from in just a few moments. You know, Texas continues to be ranked as the top in the country, the top place to start a business, the top state for business, top place to be an entrepreneur, as well as for job creation and economic vitality. And that's a testament to you, all of our state's small business owners and entrepreneurs. So we want to thank you for everything that you do to keep our economy going. And please know that here at the Economic Development and Tourism Office, our small business assistance team is here to help. I know that many of you have joined us at these webinars before, and if you're returning to this webinar, thank you for coming back. And if you're new to the event, thank you for joining us today. Please be sure to give us your feedback, as we're always trying to improve these webinars and give you the best service possible. And now I'll turn it back over to our office's small business advocate, Kelly Spillane.
Great. And thank you, Adriana. And as Adriana just said, we are interested in your feedback. You will be receiving an email from us asking you to fill out a survey. We really would like you to take a few minutes to do that. And thank you in advance for that. And so before we kick off, I'm going to just let you know that we have put two more statements into the featured feed. Again, it's in the upper right-hand corner. You can click on that icon, and these little graphics at the bottom of the slide, hopefully you can see them, help you identify that link to click. And the two statements that we're publishing are, I want to learn how to use social media to promote my business, or I already use social media to promote my business. And again, please like the one that's closest to where you are. We're interested to know what level of activity our audience has with social media, but also in general with e-commerce. And so please like which of the two statements pertain to you, and we have 2 pairs of statements in that feed, so please click 2 different ones that are relevant, and we are grateful for you letting us know where you are at this point in time. So I'm going to share with you today who our panelists are. We have Diana Dukas. She's the manager for economic impact and also US policy in Facebook and Instagram. We have Lois Rauder. She's the Senior Business Development Manager for Amazon Business. And we also have Jessica Garcia. She's a tax compliance specialist with the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts. And so moving along to the core of this event, or the first half of this event, let's say, it's all about the frequently asked questions that our panelists get asked. And we want to share that information with everybody so that you can hear potentially the main information that you're looking for, the main things that are on your mind. The second half of this event is about the live questions, and we'll open the live Q&A a good distance into these FAQs so that you can then ask your question if we haven't already tackled it with these FAQs. So without further ado, I am going to introduce you to Diana Dukas from Facebook. Thank you for joining us, Diana.
Thanks for having me.
We're delighted to have you, delighted to have Facebook. We've had Facebook join us before and it's been great, and really delighted to have Facebook join us additionally today. And so Diana, let's get straight into those questions. We're going to talk a little bit about social media marketing and e-commerce. The first question that we have for you today is, it's all about your programs. Facebook has a big focus on small business, we do know that. Please tell us about your new programs where businesses can find useful resources online to help them optimize Facebook.
Great. Kelly, thank you. And thanks again for all of you for joining, and to the Office of the Governor for having us and conducting this panel. We believe, and I think we all know, that small businesses truly are the backbone of the economy, and we at Facebook have been dedicated to supporting small businesses for a long time. Starting about a decade ago, we started really investing and looking back into how we can make sure that small businesses find value on the platform, not just in terms of how they can leverage the tools to create and grow their businesses, but what are we giving back to allow them to actually leverage the tools that we provide. We are honored to be considered a supportive platform for small businesses. Many have consider us a core lifeline during the pandemic, especially as so many are transitioning to online platforms. And so with that honor also comes a lot of responsibility to make sure that we are supporting small businesses and educating them to best use our platforms so that they can survive the pandemic and hopefully thrive in this new reality. And so we have translated all of our in-person programming. We have something called Boost with Facebook, and we have, which traditionally had gone around the country and bringing together hundreds of small businesses in different communities together to learn about our latest tips and tools and trainings and the new products that we have. We've translated and brought them all online, and hopefully we will. We did actually have a boost in Austin earlier this year, and hopefully we'll be back in Texas again. But we also have digital marketing resources and other educational resources online through our free digital marketing partner called Blueprint. And so we'll make sure that you get all of these resources after this webinar. And as we look to the holidays, we know that small businesses are starting to feel the holiday crunch, and also knowing that it is a very important time of year where many small businesses use this opportunity to increase awareness, grow their audience, and sell their products. And so we will be launching on October 30th, so at the end of this week, our season of support, which will be a multi-week training and opportunity for small businesses to learn how to use our new products, our new tools, how to use our ad services, how to really optimize our personalized services, ad services that really allow for small businesses to curate their content and products for their specific audience. We're very proud of that. Also launching on Friday is our Buy Black Friday initiative, which is a new initiative, and we actually hope that many join us in this. but it's a new initiative that we've launched to encourage consumers find and support their local Black-owned small business on every Friday of the holiday season. And so we're actually trying to kind of capture the moment of the holiday and that retail day, and really connect people with their Black-owned small businesses and drive the consumer and business relationship. And we're very excited about that. We'll also have events starting every Friday, starting this Friday, to really herald the stories of Black-owned small businesses and provide, again, tips and tools and trainings for the small businesses themselves and also for consumers.
Great, Diana. Thank you so much for that. I really love those new programs. They're so pertinent to the moment, and I bet they're going to help so many small businesses. And so actually looking in our featured feed, I can see that actually twice as many people are not selling online yet, or are not using social media and want to, which is great. So, you know, half our audience potentially, or, you know, I guess over half our audience are not engaging with this yet. So this is going to be great information for them. Hopefully they can use it. And so the second question, Diana, please tell us about Facebook's e-commerce services and how they differ from other platforms and why a small business might choose it.
Sure. So for all of you that are thinking about diving into the social media and digital platform space, come dip your toe in, come on in, the water's warm. We are here to make it as easy as possible for you to have a digital presence. And what we really pride ourselves at Facebook and at Instagram is, one, making it as easy as possible, but two, to make it your online presence feel like you as much as you possibly can, translating your physical storefront and your physical foot traffic and bringing that into a virtual storefront and trying to recreate your virtual foot traffic. And so there are multiple ways that you can use our platforms to engage with customers and to set up your account. Please sign up on Facebook or on Instagram to establish your business page, which is a really easy way for consumers to find you and look at the platforms and the products that you might be selling. If you're a restaurant, you know, communicating to your networks, whether you're open or what your change of operations may be, encouraging customers to come on in. It's a really great way to communicate with your customers. And through COVID, we have really tried to listen to the small business community and be both proactive and reactive in terms of how we can best support through our products. And so at the height of or the beginning, I should say, the beginning of the COVID crisis, we knew that we needed to act. And so we created a couple of different products that you might find helpful now. We have a tool called Temporary Service Change, which allows for your community to know if your operations have changed, if your hours have changed, if you're offering delivery or pickup service, and all the different ways that you might want to communicate the things that you might want to communicate to your audiences. We also established a gift cards and personal fundraising tools so that we know that, especially during these times, small businesses need to diversify their income as much as they can. And so these tools were really designed to bring communities together to support the small business community and the small businesses that they love to patronize. We also launched something called Facebook and Instagram Shops, and which was a really exciting product and really goes to the fact of what I mentioned earlier of bringing your personalized self online, which seems it can seem daunting. It can seem like a challenge, but really through shops, we have tried to recreate the consumer in-store experience. And so you as a small business would fully set up your Instagram or Facebook shop. You can make it perfectly personalizable and customizable to really show off your personality. You can choose up to 30 products that you would want your certain audience to find. You can use our targeted marketing tools to be able to curate exact products that you want a particular audience to see. And what's also great about this is that it's the ease of your customer as well. Once they're shopping with you, they don't have to, when they want to pay, they don't need to move to another payment platform. Everything is done in the Instagram or Facebook shop. So really making this a one-stop shop for your customer, an online customer, to visit your online shop. And we're trying to make it easier as well. We just launched something called Business Suite, which actually brings together the messaging services of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp that allows for a small business to manage all of the incoming emails or pings or messages from your various different platforms. We know that sometimes it's hard to bounce between platform to platform to platform to manage your customer needs. This way, we're allowing, through Business Suite, allows for everything to be done in one place. And we're going to continue to iterate and create new products to make it easier for small businesses to have a presence online. For those of you who are thinking about getting online or new to it, please visit our Facebook resource hub for small businesses, and we'll make sure to send out this link. But please visit it because it does have step-by-step guidelines and encouraging resources to really show you how to set up your business page, your shop, and any other way you want to use the platform.
Excellent, and thank you so much. And I just want to echo what Diana just said. All of the links that she's referring to will be in this slide deck. We'll show them to you later, but you will have access to them after the event through a link in an email that we will send to you. So don't worry, you'll have access to all of this information. And the final question today for Diana is about Instagram. Instagram is a very innovative platform. We all know that. It can be a really powerful brand building tool for business. Can you share with us some online resources to help companies make the most of Instagram?
What makes Instagram just such a great platform is that it really allows for small business to even more so show their personality, their interest, really create a community, as we like to do on Facebook, but really create a community of loyal customers and that relationship between the small business and the customers, because it really allows for your business to showcase its personality, to get to best serve your audience in terms of what are the right products. It allows for you to use short-term videos. We launched something called Reels earlier this year, which really allowed for a quick and really more interactive experience between the business and the consumer. We are consistently looking at how else to really engage and what's most of interest to the audience, and how do you again look to create that online community. I will send out the different links that you can use to really go through all the various opportunities for Instagram, but it really also skews towards a younger audience. And so that's something to remember as you're looking to, again, expand your audience as you're a small business and really, again, connect with the consumers in your community.
Okay, well, listen, thank you so much, Diana. That was great information, and people in the audience will have the opportunity to type a question into the live Q&A feed and ask Diana a question during the second half of the event. So thank you, Diana. We're going to move along now, and we're going to talk to Lois Rowder. Thank you, Lois, for joining us. We have a couple of questions for Lois, and we'll get straight into that now. So please, Lois, the first question is, can you tell us about some useful tools and resources that small businesses can use to optimize Amazon for their businesses?
Yeah, I can, and thanks so much, Kelly. And I also want to thank the Office of the Governor and your team for bringing us together today. So Amazon and Amazon Business, for those of you that don't know about it, Amazon Business actually started about 5 years ago as a way for businesses to basically start to buy on Amazon. But all of our sellers, whether they're selling on Amazon or Amazon Business, have access to a ton of different tools and resources. And those can be things like our Small Business Academy. Our Small Business Academy is actually a website where small businesses can go to take courses that can help them with their education on how to sell online. These are free courses that are available, whether or not you have an Amazon Business account or not. They're available to you to take their recorded classes as well as their scheduled classes every single week. So it's a definite great location that you can go to and take courses. And again, we'll make sure that you have all that information and those resources. We also have put together a lot of tools and resources that are highlighting our small and certified businesses. So one that we are really, really proud of is our Black-owned business website. So right now, on both the consumer side as well as on the Amazon business side, there's a site which hosts our Black-owned businesses. It's got a curated collection of businesses and products that are available. And we definitely are proud of that and would welcome everyone to go there and check it out. Again, it's both on the consumer side and on the business side. We also have a lot of tools that are specifically set up so that as our customers are searching for small business, that they're able to find you. So, on Amazon, we have 300 million customers that have a very high intention to buy, that are looking on Amazon Business every day. And so having people on there that have a certification, we are able to actually surface that to buyers. So as they're looking to support small, local certified sellers, we have a way for you to be able to upload your certifications, whether those are state certifications or national certifications, and allow buyers to be able to find you within, all of the other sellers that are out there. And then also on a site that's called Build Your Business, there's a tremendous number of tools and resources that are available. And those span from people that potentially want to become Amazon Kindle publishers. So if you've written a book and you want to publish it, you can do that for free with Kindle publishing. Or you could potentially want to become a service provider. So let's say that you want to become one of our delivery service partners. You're able to do that as well. And the Build Your Business website has all of that listed there as well. And then lastly, if you are interested in maybe selling your handmade goods, so you have, you've made artwork, you've got pottery, you've got jewelry, anything that's handmade, we have a website that's specifically for those types of sellers, and it's called Amazon Handmade. So there's a variety of different websites that you'll be directed to that all have a place, whether you're, again, a publisher, you're an app developer, you want to become a service provider, or you've got handmade goods, we have a place for you, and we would welcome you onto our marketplace.
That's fantastic. And actually, when Lois is finished with this next question that I ask her, we have a slide and I'll show you briefly, again, allowing you access to those things that she's referred to after the event. And so the second question, Lois, and I'm interested in this, and I know we all think of Amazon as consumers for your amazing B2C, business to consumer offering and amount of vendors and products to deal with, but we're particularly interested in hearing today about Amazon for business and how that's changing how businesses sell to other businesses.
Yeah, and that's great. So again, about 5 years ago, we basically came out with Amazon for business. So the tagline was everything you love about Amazon, but for business. So it is a B2B marketplace. Again, it was about 5 years old. 3 years ago, we released some financial figures on that. So in 2018, we were about a $10 billion part of Amazon. We're the fastest growing part of Amazon. And we obviously are selling to all different types of customers. So we have large government agencies that are purchasing on Amazon. We have local populous governments that are buying here, hospitals that are buying in record numbers because, especially during the pandemic, they've come to us to find PPE products. We have educational institutions, 75,000 nonprofits are buying on Amazon Business. So there's a tremendous number of business customers that are here buying products. And one in particular that we're really proud of, just recently, Amazon was awarded a GSA contract. So it's for micro purchases under $10,000. It's about a $6 billion contract. And obviously, the reason I'm bringing it up is that for all of these small businesses that are interested in getting to the federal government and finding those buyers, they're buying on Amazon today. So by being a small registered, small woman-owned, veteran-owned business or any certified business, you'll be found by these federal buyers that are here purchasing. And you don't need to go out and get your own contract. You're actually able to reach those customers through Amazon Business. And again, they're searching for you based on that certification. So we want to have you upload that, but they're here buying. So, we're changing the way that businesses are buying. We're providing them with all of the convenience of Amazon. So they have access to all of the products that Amazon sells, but the business products in particular are of value to them because they can obviously save money by buying those products here. We're able to offer quantity discounts, or our sellers are able to offer quantity discounts to the customers. They're able to offer palletized shipping, bulk shipping, any number of different shipping methods for our customers. And business buyers, really are gravitating towards this because of the convenience that it offers, because of the selection that we're able to offer them, and the fact that they know that they're going to be receiving a great value for their purchasing dollars. So that's just a few of the ways that we're changing how businesses are selling to other businesses, and just wanted to kind of open up the fact that there's a tremendous number of businesses that are here buying today, looking specifically for small and certified sellers.
That's great. Thank you so much, Lois. That's really interesting and pertinent information. I'm just going to move on to that slide I mentioned. This has a lot of information on it. I'm just showing it to you, that you will have access to this via the email link that we'll send you, so that you can dig into all of the information that Lois has referred to. I'll also announce that our live Q&A feed is now open. Again, you'll find that live Q&A feed up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, where that icon is with the two speech bubbles, one with the question mark. Click on that and you'll see my questions, and you can type in questions that you might have for any of our panelists. And so while we talk to our next panelist, who is Jessica Garcia, you guys can be typing your questions, and we're going to talk to Jessica Garcia from the Comptroller's office. And thank you for joining us today, Jessica.
Yes, thank you for having me again.
Yes, it's great to have you again. You were fantastic the last time, and we know you're going to be great today. You have so much really relevant information for people, especially given the amount of people who aren't online selling but want to be. So this great information you're going to share with us today is going to be relevant to them. And I'll kick off with the first question. And so when am I responsible as a vendor for reporting sales taxes to my business? Sorry, I'll say that again. When am I responsible for reporting sales taxes that my business incurs, Jessica?
So when you have a sales tax permit, we'll set you up either as a monthly, quarterly, or yearly filer, depending on how you apply for the application. But you will always file your report, even if you had no sales for that particular period, or if none of the taxes, you didn't collect any tax due to the situation. But just remember, you always got to file your report. So I have to tell people, we don't know what you're doing until you report it, and then it's logged in. But if you're permitted, you got to file your report.
Okay, that's great to know, especially if you're just beginning. Great to get off on the right foot. And our next question is, and you might actually define this for me before you kick off, but how can a marketplace provider certify that it will collect and remit tax for third-party sellers? So you might let people know what a marketplace provider is. And then the second part of that question is there a special form required to do this?
Sure, great question. So a marketplace provider is going to be either an entity that owns or operates a marketplace, and they process the sales and payments on behalf of the marketplace seller, which is you guys. And this is stuff like Amazon, eBay, Etsy, just to name a few. So those are what we call marketplace providers. Now, there is no special form required by the marketplace provider to give you as a seller that they are collecting and remitting the taxes for Texas. Now, the seller can be made aware of this by maybe the terms in the agreement or in their contract, however they got that set up. But there is no need to have a separate document that shows that this marketplace provider is remitting the taxes for you.
Okay, thank you for that. we have a third question, and before I ask that, I'll just mention to everybody that there will be links again on the second last slide in this deck to guides and information that can help you get into more detail on these answers that Jessica is giving. And our final question for Jessica today is, if I live in Texas and sell only through a certified marketplace, do I need a sales tax permit?
The answer is yes. Since you are a Texas seller and you have physical presence in the state, you got to have a sales tax permit and still file your report.
Okay, and that's a straight answer. Thank you for that. And again, more details available on all of that information for people when this event is over. And so we finished our frequently asked questions piece. Thank you to my three panelists for joining with me to do that. I'm going to hand over now to my colleague Jarvis Brewer. Jarvis is going to deal with the live questions and answers, or sorry, the live questions, and he's going to field them to the panelists to get answers. And over to you, Jarvis.
Thank you, Kelly, so much for that introduction. And I see that we do have a lot of questions coming in. Because we went so quick with the Texas CPA, a lot of them hadn't had the chance to get published, but continue to submit your questions. And as mentioned before, if you see questions that you like and you would like to have answered by our panelists, do like those questions the same way you did with the questions earlier in the event. So I'm just going to start with some of the ones that have just recently been submitted. And the question is for Amazon. Does Amazon collect taxes for states other than Texas from my customers? So I will pass this on to you, Lois.
Okay, great. So yes, Amazon does that. And actually, when you sign up for your seller account, one of the things that you're going to be setting up is your tax profile. So in there, if a state requires that we collect tax, then we will collect the tax and remit it on your behalf. If a state doesn't require that, but you still want to do that, then you're able to do that as well. So again, when you set up your seller account, that will all be part of that. And again, for the state of Texas, since they require that, we would collect that and remit that.
Thank you, Lois, for that explanation. This next question is pretty straightforward, and I'm going to throw it to you, Jessica. It's a tax-related question, and the question comes anonymously and says, do you have to charge a sales tax?
That's a pretty broad question. If you are selling taxable items in the state of Texas, yes, you got to charge sales tax on that item you sell.
Okay, and I'll try to elaborate a little bit further on what I think the questioner is asking. So maybe they're referring to products that are going to be on one of these platforms, these social media or platforms such as Amazon, and you mentioned Etsy and whatnot. How are those sales tax collected?
So if you're selling through the marketplace provider, such as like Amazon, they will be collecting the taxes for you, but you will not file that on your report because they are reporting it for you. We don't want it doubled information of sales, I guess you could say. So that's if you sell through a marketplace provider. But if you're selling through your own website that you have, you still file those sales taxes on your taxable sales. You collect it and remit it to the state.
Thank you, Jessica. Moving right along. This question comes from Lloyd, and this is a question for both Facebook and Amazon. So the question is, what opportunities do Facebook and Amazon have for Black-owned companies that provides professional services such as IT or staffing? So Lloyd provides professional services such as IT or staffing, and he's wondering what opportunities do Facebook and Amazon have for those type of companies? So I'll begin this question with Diana, and then we'll move forward with Lois.
Sure, and that's a great question. So there are a couple different ways to answer that. So we certainly have a supplier diversity initiative where we have committed to over $1 billion in supplier diversity and making sure to hit that over the next 3 years. That's a commitment that we have made. We actually made internally a long time ago, but we've just more publicly announced that. We also have a tool called Businesses Nearby, and within that, there's a tool to discover Black-owned businesses. And so what that allows for is in businesses nearby, a consumer can look in within a radius of 1 mile and 500 miles to find businesses near them. And within that tool, it is a fully optional or opt-in opportunity for Black-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses. But within the tool, there is an opportunity for you to designate and self-verify yourself as a Black-owned business. This then allows for consumers using the businesses nearby tool to search for Black-owned firms that they might be able to work with.
Thank you. And I'll move on to Lois if you have anything additional for Amazon.
Yeah, I think, we too have an internal program that's available. So I'd love to just get a follow-up email with the information and be able to help connect the dots, if you will, to our internal team. I think from an external perspective, if you're looking to sell professional services online, typically we would be accepting applications for that, and we would love to have you in our network of service providers. Right now, however, our services are on pause, and they're on pause because we're not able to put people in people's houses to deliver services or into a business to deliver services. So for the time being, we're not accepting new applications for service providers. But again, we want to know who you are. We definitely have that as a capability. And as soon as we take it off of our pause, we will be allowing people to register and to provide services to our customers. So hopefully that helps, but would love to hear from you and love to connect the dots internally for anybody that's interested.
Thank you, Lois. And I'll stick right here with you for this next question as it both relates to Facebook and Amazon once again. Simple question once again, and I think it is a question that everyone is interested in. The question is, how do we garner hits on Facebook and Amazon? Lois?
So on Amazon, that's a great question. Obviously, customers come to Amazon and they type in information that they search for. So they don't necessarily look for a product, but they might look for, a description of a product. So as a seller, when you're putting together your catalog and you're putting together the product information in there, having the right keywords is going to be critical for customers to be able to find those products. So we allow for every single product that you want to sell on Amazon, there's about a 250 keyword area for you to be able to fill out, and that's how customers are going to be able to find you, is with that. So that's the first way that you'll be able to do it. The second thing is that we offer things like sponsored products. So sponsored products allows you to create ways for customers to find you and for you to be able to rise up in the rankings among those products. So as a seller on Amazon, you'll have access to sponsored products, you'll have access to the keywords that are part of your product offering. And that's how customers are going to find you, and that's how you're going to be exposed to these customers. And then the third way, again, and we talked about it earlier, is through certifications. So your certifications that you have are things that our customers are searching for. So we allow our business buyers that have Business Prime to create what we call diversity credentialed policies. And those policies are set up so that if you are, let's say, a woman-owned business or a minority-owned business, they would be able to have a policy whereby any time that they were searching for a product, if the product was sold by a minority business or a woman-owned business, it would come up in the search results. So that's a great way for a business to be able to raise themselves up in that search result by utilizing those certifications. And then obviously our buyers are enabling certification policies that make it easy during the normal search process and buying process to highlight those businesses and buy from those businesses with those certifications.
Thank you, Lois. And I'm going to come back to that certifications in a second, but I'd like to see if Diana has any way to, again, how does a person garner hits through Facebook or Instagram?
It's really all about community and using our ad services. And so one of the things that we're proud of, especially in supporting allowing for businesses to transition online, but then also better their business online and leverage the tools that we have, is through our educational resources, because it will take you step by step through how to find your audience. And so what are the right tags? What are the more resonant photos? What are the products that you know that your audience is looking for? You are a tailored chocolatier, let's say. How are you going to find those chocoholics? And it's really using our platforms and the targeting that we enable for small businesses, and then the different various platforms. So like shops, engaged in businesses nearby, and the various different ways that we allow for small businesses to promote themselves and really work within their community is the best way to do it. I will say that so many of our products are free in terms of our tools and trainings and the products writ large, which makes Facebook and Instagram a really attractive way for small businesses to enter the market and really start to get their name out there, find new audiences, and really work within their communities.
Absolutely. Taking advantage of free tools is something we all can do. So I mentioned a second ago that I would come back to a question about certifications, and this question was submitted specifically about how do we get the certification of woman-owned and what qualifies. So I'm going to actually submit this question to my colleague Kelly. I'll probably tag on to the end of it, but again, Kelly, the question is, how do we get certification of woman-owned and what qualifies?
Okay, well, that's a broad question. I'm going to give you some general information, and I'm sure Jarvis will have information to add to that. And if the person who asked that doesn't feel they got enough information, you can reach out to us after the event and we can help you get more detail on your specific circumstances. But there are several organizations that will certify you as a woman-owned business. It depends on where you want to do business. Do you want to do business with state agencies? Then it is the Comptroller's office that has the HUB program, the historically underutilized business program, that will certify you as a woman-owned business that is considered historically underutilized. Women-owned businesses are in that category. So you can go to the Comptroller's office to the HUB program and get all that information there. You may find different larger cities in Texas have their own woman-owned business certifications. Also, the Small Business Administration itself has a woman-owned business certification. They would be the main areas that I would guide people, and I would tell them to ask themselves that question: with which agency or what level do you want to do business? Is it city level, state level, or federal level? If it's public procurement that is on your mind, often that is the reason people get those certifications. As our colleagues or our panelists here have been talking about, both Facebook and Amazon have ways to highlight women-owned businesses. I know that they would acknowledge any outside certifications that you may have. They may be actually, I think that it's mainly the outside certifications that you get that will help you stand out as a woman-owned business on those platforms. I'll pass it to Jarvis in case he has additional information there.
Yes, Kelly, you actually answered pretty much what I was going to say as well. So the first would be identifying who do you want to do business with. If you're wanting to do business with state agencies or state universities, then the HUB certification is the certification you would want to obtain. Again, the HUB certification applies to many protected classes, including women-owned, people with disabilities, veteran-owned, and certain races have fallen into the category of the HUB certification. So again, that's only for state universities and state agencies. If you're looking to do business with your local government, obtaining a local certification may be an option for you. For example, if you're in Dallas, you may want to obtain a Dallas women-owned business certification, which is specific to that city and local area. So again, identify who you would like to do business with, and then look to see if there's a certification for that government. And with that, another question just came up. The question is, for those of us who are just beginning the selling online journey, is there a webinar that covers the basic steps of how to stand up a business and what you are legally required to have in place? I will actually refer to our Starting a Business webinar, which I believe we had it in early September. But that webinar was about just general starting a business. A lot of the information referenced in that webinar is relative to both online as well as physical brick and mortar businesses. So that's a great webinar for just looking at general information for starting a business. As opposed to online, some of the same requirements such as setting up your business, the business structure. The first thing you will want to do is choose whether you want to be an LLC, a sole proprietorship, a partnership. So that would be through the Texas Secretary of State, setting up what your business structure or business entity would be. And then as far as taxing, that's exactly why we have Jessica Garcia here, who can answer some of those questions related to sales tax and what you may have to do with your marketplace. So just wanted to throw that out there and answer that question right away. Our next question comes from Robin. Many of the products that you mentioned are our competitors. How can we be sure that we will not be blocked, censored, moved to the bottom of the search, etc.? So I'm going to actually throw this question to Lois. It seems like it's more of an Amazon question. So Lois, do you have anything for Robin?
So can you read that again? So
Absolutely. Many of the products that you mentioned are our competitors. How can we be sure that we will not be blocked, censored, moved to the bottom of the search, etc.?
Right. So I think that is a really good question. And I think probably a lot of people are wondering that. Within Amazon, obviously, there's hundreds of millions of products and there's millions of sellers as well. So the chances are very high that whatever product you're selling, somebody else is already selling it on Amazon. But the opportunity is still there for sellers that have they're certified sellers. Maybe you're offering a product that many other sellers are selling, but you're certified and they're not. So that's going to help you to raise yourself up within the search criteria and obviously expose those products to millions of new customers. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity. We have sellers that are coming online every day and they are selling the same products, but what differentiates them is the same thing that differentiates them offline, whether it's their customer service, whether it's their ability to get products to customers more quickly than others, whether it's that they're certified and others are not. So, whatever helps you to differentiate yourself offline can help you to differentiate yourself online. So I think you have to kind of think of those things in tandem. And then, just remember that customer service matters no matter what. The way that you promote your products matters. The way that you present those products matters. The way that you address your customers and get back to them with information, whether they have a problem with their product and they need technical support or whatever, your ability to service that customer is going to be, as important online as offline. And those things are part of what's going to help you to continue to be raised up in the algorithm so that you are exposed to many, many new customers. And no matter what, with 300 million online customers that are searching with a high intent to buy, you're going to get somebody that's interested in the product. So, I think there's a large opportunity here and it seems to be growing.
Absolutely. So competition will exist regardless of if you're selling online or in person. So thank you so much, Lois. I will actually stick with you for this next question, but before I ask this question, I do want to say our colleague Michael Traeger has posted in the chat the link to the YouTube recording of our Starting a Business webinar. So if you're looking and interested in that, Michael Traeger has submitted that link. All right, so moving forward, Lois, this next question is also for you and Amazon. The question is, can Amazon help businesses selling to utility companies, oil companies, and heavy industry businesses?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, we actually have an entire part of our Amazon business sales team that is selling into those same accounts. So it's, I think, a great opportunity if you have a product that is specific to that type of customer, then, we have a sales team that's also selling to those customers. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to be able to work together to bring your products to the marketplace and obviously to attract those buyers that are also, from those industries here to be able to purchase those products from you. So yeah, I think there's a great opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So Diana, I have a question for you. This question comes from Gregorio, and the question is, what strategy is used for small businesses in small towns like San Angelo, Texas, for markets like Facebook, Instagram, etc.?
I go back to really being that Facebook and Instagram are really community-oriented platforms, and so it's about making sure that your geographic targets, knowing your, where you're looking to operate, knowing what kind of audience you're looking to attract, what kind of consumers you're looking for. And it's really all about, and I would say this goes whether you're a national seller, international seller, smaller, it's all about communication and really having a presence, showing up, but then communicating with your customers so that they know how to best, one, they can find you. Two, they know that you are taking their interest into mind. And so as you're setting up your shop, as you're setting up your business page, what kind of products are you showcasing? You really can, especially during using Facebook and Instagram shops, you can customize it per audience. And so you can make sure that a certain customer can see 5 to 30 specialized products really for them. And it's about using our communications tools to really create the relationship with your consumers, making sure they know how to support you, how you're operating, especially if you're a restaurant. Really trying to, again, create that community, especially in those smaller markets.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, moving forward. So this question came in when we mentioned some of the Black-owned businesses, some of the programs that both Facebook and Amazon have. This question comes anonymously and asks, is there also a Latino business owner website or a product? So I'm going to submit this to Diana or Lois to see if either Amazon or Facebook, Instagram has anything for Latino. I'll start with you, Diana.
Sure, happy to hop in. So I would say when we're talking about discover Black-owned businesses, it's actually, the tool is actually for all minorities, and so and underrepresented groups, or underserved, I should say. And so yes, there is the ability to distinguish yourself and self-verify on the platform. What I also want to, I should have mentioned this earlier, but we have a program called Elevate, which is specifically designed to address the needs of Black-owned and Hispanic and Latinx owned businesses. We have our tools and educational resources translated into Spanish. We really look to meet the small business where they are and have culturally relevant material. We make sure that there's access to all of our educational resources, and it's designed specifically to help equalize and provide opportunity for Black-owned businesses and Latinx and Hispanic businesses. So we'll make sure to get that link out there as well. But Elevate is a great resource if you're looking for whether how to get online for the first time or you have more experience and you want to continue to grow.
Thank you, Diana. I think many people will be interested in what Elevate has to offer.
Absolutely.
So moving forward to Lois, same question. Are there anything for Latino business owners with Amazon?
Yeah, so again, from a certification perspective, we absolutely want to know, all minority businesses. We want to have their certifications uploaded and presented to our customers. From an actual landing page perspective, the landing page that we have right now for our Black-owned businesses is specific to that community. And we will be expanding that in 2021 to all minorities. Today, however, that is a very focused website, and it is specifically for our Black-owned businesses. So look for that to change as of 2021, but right now, we know that, when we look at the businesses that are most impacted by COVID, are most impacted by the political unrest, it's our Black-owned businesses. So we are definitely focused on that community. We want to be able to provide them with the resources and the attention. And again, as we move forward into 2021, that will be expanded. But today, that is the focus area for us.
Thank you for that clarification. And I'll stick right here with you, Lois, for this next question as well. The question is, are any of the platforms suitable for selling only B2B products, or could offerings include services? If so, what would you expand on? What would work and what would not? So I believe you touched on this a little bit with Kelly and the FAQs, but the question is more about selling B2B. What would work and what would not?
So yeah, so Amazon Business is our B2B website. And again, for customers that are on there purchasing products, they're looking for things that are related to their business. So maintenance, repair, and operations type products would be a great category to offer. IT products, hospitality products, things like that, that office products that are very focused on businesses are what the business buyers are there purchasing. So I think the top categories would be IT, office, and MRO. Those are three very high demand categories that would be great for anybody to offer. And then obviously, when you're offering those products to our business customers, you also can offer that same product to a consumer. So you're able to set up your pricing model so that you're offering it to either, consumers and business customers, or potentially only business customers if that's your desire. So it's really up to you as to how you want to sell. And then in terms of services, I think, we kind of touched on that earlier, where it's on pause right now. If you've gone on Amazon, you know that you can buy services online. I mean, we have housekeeping services, we have product installation services. From a B2B perspective, the services that we will allow to be offered when this, kind of freeze is lifted will be things like, let's say that a business wanted to have monitors installed as, TV monitors in a hotel. You could sell that as a service, or you could sell that you want to go out there and help somebody, put together a chair or a desk, or whatever type of service that you have, IT services. But again, right now, those are on pause. So we're not accepting any applications at this time, but when we do, definitely want to have these service providers come back to us and offer those services on our marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to move with Jessica. I have a question related to taxes for you. And this question is, which services are considered taxable and which services are not taxable? Without going through a whole list, they give some examples of web design, virtual assistant services, online courses. Would those fall into taxable products or services?
That is a great question. That's also a big question because it all depends what's being done. What I would suggest is take a look at our publication. It's publication 96-259. We talk about taxable services because there's 17 broad categories, and we do give examples in each category. If you still don't find your answer there, you can always email us that question, give us specific information, what's being done and all, and we can get back to you with an answer. Our email address is tax.help@cpa.texas.gov.
Well, thank you, ma'am. And I am going to have you repeat both that pub as well as your email address, just for the people who may want to take that down, because I think that's very important.
Sure.
So could you again repeat the email address and the publication?
Sure. So first, the publication is number 96-259. It's titled Taxable Services. And the email address, if you have any additional questions or you can't find your answer there, you can email us directly at tax.help@cpa.texas.gov.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
And this next question, I am actually just leaving it open for our panelists, for whoever has great advice. I'm noticing that there are a lot of people here with questions related to services. Just my own opinion is that it seems like it may be a little bit advantageous for products to be sold on Facebook, Instagram, Amazon. Please correct me and tell me if I have a service, how can I properly advertise and sell and market my service through your platforms? Don't have an order of who would like to answer that first. I don't know if I see a hand or someone willing to. I'll go with you, Lois. You're chuckling there.
And well, I unfortunately I don't have a good answer for that, in that we're on pause right now when it comes to service. So, you know, again, when we accept applications, then yes, we would love to have the services back online, but until COVID's over and we're able to deliver that service into a business or a home, we're just not accepting applications at this time. So sorry.
Diana, do you have anything?
I would say you can absolutely use your Instagram or Facebook or your WhatsApp platforms to advertise your business. You can be seen on the platforms with your audience, representing yourself as a service provider. It really is a great way to showcase what you have. So I really suggest looking at the business page, the Instagram pages, and using WhatsApp also to even communicate with your customers as well, especially in the service industry.
Thank you, ma'am. And again, I'll just throw my own input in there. Just show that you are active. Showing that you are active on social media, on your e-commerce site, your platform, that can pay dividends. So with that, it is now 2 o'clock. Thank you so much to our panelists for participating. A lot of great information. Thank you to our attendees for chiming in and giving your questions. And hopefully this has been very, very educational for each of you. Hopefully this will lead to a lot of great things on the internet for you. So with that, I will hand it back over to my colleague, Kelly.
Great, and thank you, Jarvis, and thank you, panelists, for your answers. And I want to thank Sam Shornack and Michael Traeger too, who are back of house here. You can't see them, but they are the people responsible for answering an enormous amount of the questions that we got today. They did a powerful job, and thank you guys. And so we're going to wrap up now. I'm just going to show you, this is our contact information and links to resources that could be useful to our audience. And this is the contact information and access to the resources that were mentioned by our panelists. You all, as the audience, will receive an email with a link to this deck, and so you can access all of this information at your leisure shortly. I am going to now hand over to our Executive Director, Adriana Cruz, who will close our event. And I want to thank you all so much for joining us again and wish you all the best with your online activities, and hope today was able to provide you with useful information. Over to you, Adriana.
I will fill in for Adriana. Thank you all, and look forward for our final webinar of the year, which will be coming within the next 2 weeks. Thank you all for your participation, and we look forward to having you once again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.